Hey, I'm Marcus.
And I'm Kitty Kisses.
We are working class nerds.
Cue the intro. That's right. We're Working Class Nerds, the podcast that gives you no information about your favorite information.
Today is Thursday, June 26, 2021, and you can find this 111 podcast on Apple Podcasts, Buzzsprout, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and anywhere you can find a podcast in the whole galaxy, and maybe even in the future too. You can completely watch me fail at video games, and I mean fail, at twitch.tv/MarcusB814.
And you can find me, Kitty Kisses, at twitch.tv/Kitty Kisses.
And you can find the both of us on Twitter. I am at MarcusB814.
And I am at GM Kitty Kisses. This week's episode, we're talking about Halo with Warrior. He's a member of the Guardians of Order, a Twitch streamer, and he has an amazing YouTube channel that just hit, wait for it, 1,000 subs.
Which is so amazing.
That's pretty fucking awesome. Welcome to the show, and what have you been up to?
What's up, guys? First, gentlemen, thanks for bringing me on here. I greatly appreciate it. So this has been a long time coming. I think, Marcus, you invited me about 2 months ago, man, and I've just been waiting for this day. But yeah, we just hit 1,000. So the biggest thing, I'm aWarriorNerd on Twitch, but on YouTube, I'm the Loreseeker. So I have two separate brands that I'm managing and trying to rise. So on the Star Wars YouTube channel, we just hit 1,000, and I'll be honest, I didn't think we were going to get it anytime soon. So, but it just kind of went viral with a couple of videos, and we just went up. And then on Twitch, I've been playing some Master Chief Collection Halo, gearing up for Infinite. But that's really about it. And then in the personal world, I practice jujitsu, so that takes off my spare time when I'm not streaming or making content. So
Nice.
But thanks again, guys. I'm happy to be here and ready to get to talking Star Wars and Halo and whatever else we can get into.
Whoa, but so first off, jiu-jitsu is a crazy workout.
Yeah,
crazy.
What
Like,
style
you don't
of jiu-jitsu?
It is one of the toughest things that I've ever done. I've been training now for 5 years, and it's one of those things like if a track star comes into jiu-jitsu, his stamina cannot keep him in the fight. Like he'll gas out in 10 minutes. There's a buildup that you can create. I can go for about 35, 45 minutes of just straight rolling.
Holy crap.
And outlast these, a football player or a track star who comes in. And it's only because our bodies are conditioned for it. There's like muscles that you don't even know that you have that will get sore because of jiu-jitsu. And then your knees get beat up, your toes, you get turf toe through wrestling, because it's grappling and everything. So, but it's amazing, man. I love the sport. I love competing. I know I just competed a few weeks ago in a 10-minute match, and I ended up losing, but it was a good experience. It was an expert, and the guy who beat me was training about 8 years. So it was a fun experience.
Nice.
So I only know about jiu-jitsu because I had some friends back in the day that did it, and I listened to the Joe Rogan podcast, and he talks about it all the time. So jiu-jitsu is completely an art form.
Mm-hmm.
And what I like about hearing about it is how the community is like almost like the Twitch community, right? It's really close and personal. Like when you're on the mat, like, yeah, you're at war with that person, but as soon as you're up, you're like hugging, like that shit was awesome, and that's kind of like what I want, almost like a camaraderie.
Yeah. The guys that I train with have become like some of my best friends, and the same with like with you and then the Guardians of the Order. You just become a brotherhood, and everyone that you beat up on the maps, and then they beat you up. Then afterwards you go to dinner or you go play basketball. Like we play basketball with the jiu-jitsu guys every Sunday at the park, and it's just one big family. Like I know their daughters and sons' names. I know their brothers and cousins' names, just because you're on that personal level. There's nothing that's going to bring people closer than like a combat scenario. And that's what it is. I mean, you literally go at it and then you train together, then you go to competitions together and you lose and win together. And that's what brings people really close to each other.
Nice. Are you doing Brazilian style? What style of jiu-jitsu are you training?
Right. Yeah, it's Brazilian style jiu-jitsu. I train no gi. I do train in the gi, but when I go to competitions, I'm only doing no gi. So I'm not wearing, the jiu-jitsu belt and everything. I'm just in like shorts and a rash guard, and then that's how I'm competing. But yeah, it's Brazilian jiu-jitsu, the same thing that most people are very familiar with. If you watch the UFC or if you listen to the Joe Rogan podcast, he is referring to Brazilian jiu-jitsu 99 times out of 100. So, and it's a good sport, man. And I recommend it for anybody, even if you don't want to compete, because it can save your life one day. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a really good workout.
Yeah.
Like a really, really, really good workout. If you're doing it for anything, do it for the workout.
Yeah.
You'll be broken the next day.
Yeah.
It took
You'll shed that water weight quick.
It took everybody that comes in. Now, if you get past like the cardio issue, there's the knee issues and the shin issues because you're on the mat. Most people aren't on their knees every day, or like just walking around on a mat with their elbows and stuff. And your elbows are hurt, your knees will hurt. The top of your toes will get scratched up, and you just wake up the next morning like, what truck just ran me over? And then you start getting conditioned to that. And it normally takes about 2 months to get your bones and your muscles like, okay, this is what we're doing now, so let's get after it. So
that's great.
That's awesome.
Keep after it, and you'll get through it. So
circling back now, when you talk about family, I'll give you an example. That's like Kitty here. Kitty is, I may not have ever shook his hand in real life, but like we have that friendship where we text each other back and forth. We talk to each other outside of video games and everything. Like that's the relationships that you talk about with your jiu-jitsu buddies. You know what I mean? Like Kitty has seen pictures of me with my children and doing fun shit. So I do understand that completely. And to top that off, you just kind of hopped over the fact that you just hit 1,000 subscribers on your Star Wars YouTube channel.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like that's crazy. Because how long ago did you start that channel? And because it really just took off like crazy.
Oh, man, it's so the whole story and the shebang with that is, I started Twitch, and then I was like, man, I just want to talk Star Wars, and how can I get more people into my Twitch channel? So I was like, well, let's start a YouTube. And it started out as Star Wars Quick Clips, and I did that on July 9th of last year. So we're coming up on our 1 year anniversary.
Awesome.
And you nailed it, man. It was a long road, man. I sat in my room and I would work on these YouTube videos. I work third shift. So on days that I'm off, like I'm up till 5 a.m. trying to work on these videos. And I had a little bit of a doubt. I'm like, man, these videos are just not working. We're in the 200 subs. We're in the 300 subs, 400. And I was like, why can't I feel like my quality is good now. Cause when we started out, we were a little rocky, then we upgraded the mic, we upgraded the video quality. We upgraded everything, but these videos still weren't hitting the algorithm. But I just kept telling myself, believe in the content and keep making content. So I did that. And then just out of the blue, about 3 weeks ago, I made a lore video about Darth Revan, which you guys know from SWTOR, and it blew up, 2,800 views, one of my highest view counts ever.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah. And then I posted one more video, a Count Dooku video, and then 2,400 views in like a span of like 2 days. So I was like, this is amazing. And I just kept the same style, the same flow, and then we went from 529 subs on, I think, June 5th to I got 1,000 yesterday. And I'm already almost to be getting to 1,100 now. So the video algorithm, man, they're growing. It's like I'm on cloud 9, and that's kind of why I just kind of blew it over, because it's like I can't even process that it's actually happened yet. Like if someone said, hey, man, you're a YouTuber with 1,000 subs, I'm like, am I? Like, I just keep checking it. Like, is this a dream? Like, so when I skipped over it, it's because I'm still in the processing stage of all that.
Well, the one you sent me was Ventress, and Ventress is my favorite Star Wars dark side character, and I loved it in every way. And what I liked about the video is it was like a short. So, for me, like I pick my time for content, right? Because if something is 30 minutes long, I know that like, okay, I'm either going to break this up into 3 sections, like 3 cuts, or I try to find the video that's 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes, and you can just bam, bam, bam and enjoy that quick little bit of content to make you like get your Star Wars fix or your Halo fix or whatever fix you're looking for to, get you through to the next part of the day.
Yeah. And you nailed it, man. You're the working class nerd. You don't have time to watch a 30-minute video, but you do have time to watch a 1-minute video while you're making a sandwich in between work, right? So then you can watch that video. And that's why I originally started Star Wars quick clips before YouTube Shorts ever existed. And it just wasn't working. I don't know. It just wouldn't hit the algorithm. But the Shorts algorithm not only brings traffic to my channel, but then they watch my older videos and they're like, okay, I like this Star Wars Loreseeker. I'm gonna sub to the channel, and it's been working. And I've replicated that now with Halo Loreseeker. We've had that channel up for now 2 weeks, and we're about to hit 200 subs. So, and it's the same vibes, the same style, except Star Wars lore, we have Halo lore. And I'm really excited, man, that I found the groove, and it took a long time, 11 months. So here we are.
How long are your videos on average?
I would say 3 minutes, about average.
Cool.
I am planning, you mentioned the 30-minute one. I am planning a very long form series, and we're starting out with Count Dooku. It's going to be about a 45-minute full canon and legends breakdown of Count Dooku. And that's because I like to make those videos. So why not, So just throw those out there too. Just give a little bit of everything. So
what kind of software editing are you using for the video stuff?
I actually just use DaVinci Resolve. It's free. I'm very familiar with the software. I can edit very quickly. The YouTube shorts take me about 2 hours, and a longer form about 4 hours. And then the Count Dooku one, I've been slaving away, and it's actually taking me a few weeks. But a normal video is about half a day's worth of work.
Nice.
Cool. Wow. See, that blows my mind, right? But then again, it takes me 3 weeks to build somebody's kitchen. So I guess it's all relative, right?
Right.
The thing about YouTube that scares me is like you said, it takes 4 hours or 2 hours to edit something. And I think about it and I'm like, man, I could never do it. I thought about like taking a stream and just posting it on YouTube, like the whole stream. But I'm like, who's going to watch that?
Yeah.
And then at that point, it's just a replay of a video. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
we can take a deep dive that I've learned, because people keep asking me, and I'm like, man, I'm not even like a pro YouTuber, right? I'm not even a YouTube partner yet. Like that's still far away. But I think I have a good base knowledge. And people are like, well, where should I start? And the clips thing is not where you should start. You have to, does it provide value? Yes. But when you're a gamer, like, so you guys play SWTOR, and then various other video games. When you play that game, I would say after you played it for quite a while, you've seen it all, right? So in Halo, you get an overkill. Well, I played it so long. I mean, you have to really do something crazy for me to be impressed in Halo, just because I've seen it 1,000 times. So I'm not going to go watch a montage of Halo anymore. But what I will watch is something that provides value. Like, what is going to give me a reason to watch your video? Like, so new Halo lore that comes out, I'll watch that video. Tips and tricks, I would watch that video. Something that I don't already know, and click on it. So I finally found something that works for me, and I encourage everybody to do something that doesn't involve their stream. So for SWTOR, you could post like how-tos, like how to do this, how to do that, make a certain character. I think people would love that stuff.
That's a great tip. I've been kind of wanting to get into the YouTube thing, so I'm literally taking notes right now.
And it'll be a grind, man. You have to figure out what works for you, your style of editing as well. And then you have to build that subscriber base. So a big issue, one of my friends, he was making all Star Wars content. And he made a switch, and he's like, well, should I switch now or whatever? I'm like, well, you have this many subs and they're all Star Wars fans. So if you just bring out your new content, it might fail, So, you have to learn your subscriber count. It's like the same as knowing your viewers on Twitch, right? So if you're all streaming Scroll Tour and then you go and stream Pac-Man, are they going to want to watch that? Because they're Star Wars fans and they only want to watch Star Wars content. So you got to weigh those options.
Interesting. It makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure, I don't know if you want to talk about this, but you think you'll change your name on Twitch to Loreseeker so people can find you everywhere?
So that's a good question. And it's something I literally think about every day because it does get hard to balance, two brands. I have the aWarriorNerd brand and the Loreseeker brand. And for a long time, though, if you go back to Epic Game Hype and Battlefront 2, the aWarriorNerd brand was doing so much better than the Loreseeker brand ever was. And now it's completely flip-flopped, right? So now
I don't think anybody has the name.
Right. Now Loreseeker is just, it's blown up too. So I'm like, man, what is the option? And honestly, I don't have the answer. I need someone a lot smarter than me who's been through the content creation world to come and tell me and give me the pros and cons to each. I'm trying to emulate a lot of people that I see where I want to get to, like people who have multiple millions of subs and they have different, so like I'll use Star Wars Theory, for example. He has multiple Star Wars channels. He has Arcade where he plays games. It's called Theory Arcade. And then he has, Marvel page and just various ones. And that's what I'm trying to do because going back to building your subs, if you have 1,000 Star Wars subs and then you start posting Marvel stuff, they're going to unsubscribe to you and not watch your channel. So that's why I have Star Wars Loreseeker. That's why I have Halo Loreseeker. And I'm soon to announce a few more Loreseekers as well and keep building that brand up.
And those, I'm sorry, those are all separate YouTube channels? Correct. Or are they, okay, so they're not just your main one with like a subset. You're actually using 3 different channels.
Correct. Yes. So we have Star Wars Loreseeker, Halo Loreseeker, and then the aWarriorNerd channel. And
that's interesting.
So that's where I do all my gaming, and then Halo will be focused on Halo lore and everything, and then Star Wars is all the Star Wars lore. It's just to separate those fan bases, and then Discord is a place where I bring them all together. So and they all hang out and just have fun in the general chat.
Awesome. I'm learning so much.
Well, so now you're talking to a guy who has a brand, right? So my cabinetry brand, you definitely want it all to be the same.
Yeah.
In my opinion, because if it's so easy, I'll give my own example. My persona, I Marcus B814 everywhere you look, right? Just like for me, when I found out you had a YouTube, I looked for aWarriorNerd. I didn't realize it was Loreseeker until later. So for me, I'm like, it's a no-brainer. Get on the Loreseeker because, make the name change. People are still going to love it because they love you. You know what I mean? For a little while, you may have a little bit of like, who are you kind of a situation. And you just explain that, I was a aWarriorNerd. And as it goes, because you mentioned like the Star Wars Theory guy, and he has Theory Arcade and like all the other stuff. But the key for him is Theory, where yours is Loreseeker. And for me, I'm like, well, if you're a Loreseeker everywhere, then you're a Loreseeker. Because I find that most people will understand as you grow. And before you're, because I'm going to circle back to the YouTube partner thing, but like before your YouTube partner or your partner on Twitch, like make that name change so you can push forward. Now, what does it take to be a YouTube partner?
So YouTube partner I actually think it's tailored to people who put in the work way better than Twitch. So Twitch is like, we all know Twitch. You need to average 75 viewers. You need to stream on 12 different days, and you need to have so many hours or something like that. And that's a grind. That really is. It's very tough to get 75 consistent people to watch you for 30 days. On YouTube, you need 1,000 subscribers. So we check mark that box. And then you need 4,000 watch hours. Now that's a lot. I mean,
that's a lot.
So if you have 5 people watch your live show for an hour, that's 5 hours. So I mean, it's simple math, but that is it takes many, many, many videos to get that way. And
Wow.
as long as you keep making content and people watch your content, you'll eventually get there. And you have to do that within 1 year. So 12 months, 4,000 hours. And if you believe in your content and you keep posting, that will come. The more subs you build, the more they'll go back and watch your old stuff. And then it's going to be, it's compound interest. So the one thing that I've learned from YouTube as well, it's as a snowball effect. When it's rolling down the hill, that snowball is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's cohesive at that point. So just keep grinding, man. If you're doing YouTube, keep grinding. And the same with Twitch, just get after it, work hard. And I believe if you're doing those things, good things will come.
Well, it sounds like you're really passionate about it too. So it doesn't sound like I mean, of course it can be a labor, but it sounds like it's a labor of love, which really, really helps. And then you break it up into 3 different things that you like. That's a great idea. So if you kind of get burned out on one thing, you can focus on another thing for a little while.
You nailed it, man. The Twitch was, you talked to Director Chronic, you talked to Serpents. We had this Battlefront 2 episode where our viewers just blew up because of this epic game hype, and we all put all of our chips in the bag. We went after it, and DC and Serpents both got partner, and me and a couple others missed that window, and it burned us out to a way where, we wanted to take breaks. We wanted to do other things. I just decided to take a step back, look at all my content, and I picked Star Wars Loreseeker, and I was like, I'm just going for it. And I went from streaming 5 to 6 days a week to 3 days a week, and all that open schedule has been focused on YouTube, and it's paid off. So,
wow.
I mean, you nailed it. So yeah, you have all those avenues of content. If one's not working, you can take a break, go to the other one, and just keep building your brand and not take that break. That I think breaks are good, but you have to have a plan behind the break. You know what I mean?
I actually 100% disagree with that statement. If you stream on Twitch, a break is the worst thing you can do. Right. Because a break, I understand real life happens. Things happen in life. Like you do need a mental break or whatever. But if you're pushing for partner or you're grinding and you have that end goal in mind, taking a day off is the worst thing you can possibly do for your channel. And I've watched it happen to so many people, and I understand it. They take a break and they're going from 40 plus average viewer, and then they take a week off because they need a mental break. They come back and their community comes back, but then a week or two later, they take another couple days off and people start going, this guy isn't consistent, or girl, whoever. This person isn't consistent. I'm going to find somebody else. And that's the other thing about Twitch, where I'll use myself as the guinea pig here. If I stream Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays, which I do, and I miss Tuesday and Wednesday, well, my community, like the core community, will still be there, right? But how about that new player? Let's say Kitty Kisses. Kitty Kisses is new to SWOTOR, and I'm streaming, and he clicks on my channel one Tuesday, and he's like, "Oh, I can only watch Twitch on Tuesdays." Well, the next Tuesday I'm not there, and he sees a new streamer who is, we'll call him Hogwarts. Hogwarts is a streamer. Now, Hogwarts starts streaming on Tuesday. Kitty gets in that stream, falls in love with that channel, never comes back to mine. So I do understand what you're saying about a break, but I do completely disagree that if your goal is partnership or anything, you need to put Twitch above everything else on your scheduled days. Now, I know I talk a lot. Now, going back to what you were saying, I know I don't take breaths. Now, going back to what you were saying about 5 to 6 days a week, Warrior, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Actually, for the rest of this episode, I'm going to call you Loreseeker or Lore. So what I'm saying is streaming 5 to 6 days a week, that's insanity to me, because for me, I'm high energy and like go, go, go. I couldn't do it. Now, Kitty, on the other hand, does stream. How many days a week do you stream, Kitty?
7.
Exactly. But
but I do mine different. I am
Yes.
more of I have a slower pace, and like we talk about lots of different things, and I'm very active in the chat, and I also plug my stream as a helper stream. So we get a lot of people that are new to the game or returning to the game, and we try to help them out, myself and chat. So the time goes by so fast, though. If I could do 8, I'd do 8 days, but I can't.
Well, because there's only 7 days in a week. Insert dad joke here.
Dad joke.
Exactly. So for me, like hearing you say you're streaming 3 days a week, between me and you, that's awesome. That's all you need to do. Because I know I would get burnt out. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But either way, but now that you've taken that step back from streaming and now you're streaming 3 days a week, that you have 4 days a week that you can focus on your YouTube stuff and look at what it's done for you.
Yeah.
Like it's clearly worked. You took a chance and now look at it's working. And I'm going to be uber positive for you is I think YouTube is the future of video game streaming,
Mhm.
streaming life and content. Like it already is like the content base, but like once they come out with a platform like the app, like the video game streaming app where there's going to be, you know, you're going to be able to gift subs and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Once they do that, it's going to take over the world.
So you're 100% right. I believe that. I am 100% on the show that YouTube is gonna be the next big thing because to me they're already the big thing, and they're working on building this gaming platform. Like Dr. Disrespect has moved over there, he's killing it, and they're bringing in these high profile streamers, and you can stream. And it literally goes right to your YouTube channel. So if anyone missed it, it's right there with your other videos. So if I have a lore
That's
video,
right.
and then I have a 5-fact video, and then they missed a live stream, it's right there. They can click through it, and it's real time. And so the key here is like now, if I have Halo Loreseeker, Star Wars Loreseeker, and these other ones that I'm going to be announcing here in the next couple of weeks, if I want to stream Halo, well, I'll stream it on Halo Loreseeker to my Halo fans.
That's
if I want to
awesome.
stream Star Wars and Battlefront, well, I'll do it on my Star Wars account. And then if I want to, and then right now, I get what you were saying with the change of the aWarriorNerd, and that's something I'm definitely considering. But right now, if I want to play, like I was playing Resident Evil, I would just do it on my aWarriorNerd channel because all those fans, they know it's variety gaming on there. I play Resident Evil, I'll play Uncharted, God of War, and that's where they'll go for that. And then, of course, I have Twitch where I just mainly stream Halo right now because you guys know on Twitch, you got to keep that same game and community, or unless you're just going to go full variety. So I play Battlefront, made the switch to Halo. So that's what we're trying to do over on Twitch. But with YouTube, man, you're nailing it. It's so convenient. And that'd be the ultimate goal.
Question about YouTube. Because I know Twitch won't let you stream to anywhere except for Twitch.
Mhm.
But I heard YouTube, you could multi-stream, like to different platforms simultaneously. Is that true?
I don't know their terms of service. I know you can right now. If I wanted to do it right now, I don't know if a YouTube partner is allowed to do that because I don't have access to that terms of service. But yeah, you can hop on YouTube right now and stream to Facebook and Twitch if you wanted to.
Oh, okay.
The Twitch, you could do that. You just can't be an affiliate or even a partner. So if you're just a normal streamer, you don't have any type of monetization for your channel, you can multi-stream.
Okay.
I'm not sure because there are affiliates that I know that do it. So I think it's one of those things where you just have to notify Twitch that, look, I am doing this. And if you need to take away my affiliate status, to go ahead. The problem with YouTube right now is YouTube hasn't caught up to the community side of streaming, because like I said, you know, in the Twitch community, it's like a family. I put Twitch in a ball. Twitch is a ball, and inside that ball is a family of people, and they're passionate. So Warrior comes into Kitty's stream, he donates a gifted sub, and like that generates this, and then oh my god, and then Kitty jumps into Warrior's channel and gifts a sub, and it's like a family of like give and take, right? Where YouTube, it's people expect things to be free on YouTube, and they once they come out with that way you can cheer bits or gifted subs or like subscriptions and stuff, that's where it's really going to turn for streamers, because right now the monetization isn't there for, I'm talking about big time streamers that are in it for the monetization of it, and YouTube just isn't there. But if you get in on YouTube like you're doing, Loreseeker, on your channels, and you start doing it, when YouTube makes that jump, you're already going to be established there. Even if you have 2 viewers, once it hits that, once that switch happens, you're going to watch the community grow like crazy, because there's billions of people on YouTube. What did they say? 750 hours of content uploaded a minute or some ridiculous number.
It's insane.
Yeah, so if you look up how many hours of content is uploaded a day, I don't remember what the number was, if it was like 750,000 or 750 hours a minute or something like that uploaded to YouTube.
Just say all of it.
Of it.
All.
There's billions, billions
so
of people. Yeah, billions of people on YouTube or millions on Twitch. So anyway, but it's no small feat. You should hold your head really high. Your content is awesome. Like I said, I love the Ventress ones. And I like the fact that you're talking about it. Something I hope you touch on someday is like you talk about some of the old Legends books, because like Heir to the Empire is still my favorite Star Wars book of all time, because after Return of the Jedi, there was nothing until Heir to the Empire. And that's when Thrawn was like there. And that's my Thrawn. You know, the Rebels Thrawn is not my Thrawn. My Thrawn is Heir to the Empire Thrawn in that, what was it called? Oh, the Dark something trilogy. Oh, shit.
Dark Forces?
Yeah, Dark Forces. I don't know. What was it? I'm going to Google that shit.
I have no idea.
You never read it?
I read it. Oh, yeah, when it came out. Actually, you know what? I read it, and then a friend of mine had it books on tape, and I had a Walkman, and I'd listened to it on my Walkman riding my bicycle to work back in the early 90s.
It's funny because I'm
Dark Force Rising. That's what it was called. Dark Force Rising.
Yeah, Dark Force Rising is a good series. I'm basically doing that right now. That's how most of, and what makes me be able to make these videos so quickly is because I know the information too. I'm constantly reading. I have audiobooks. I have the physical book. So I'm always, if I go to the gym, I'm listening. Like right now, I'm listening to Master and Apprentice. And then
nice.
If I go to the gym, and then on breaks at work, I'll be listening to Halo novels, Halo audiobooks. And then if I get bored at home, then I'll read the physical copies. So I'm just constantly trying to get this information in. And it makes me, when I'm typing these scripts up and going and making these videos, it just makes it so much easier to actually know what you're talking about, instead of having to look it up and, okay, that's what it is. You know, I always like to fact check, but it's good to know if the facts are right going in, and just skim over and be like, okay, it's cool. We're good. We can put that in the video.
Man,
Awesome.
I have a huge smile on my face right now, Warrior. You are living the life, and I love it.
Except
so awesome.
Kitty, the one thing that I heard that I didn't even touch on is you work third shift, right?
Yeah.
I tried that shit for 3 weeks, and I'm a born to be first shift, 7 to 3:30, 7 to 5:30, whatever that day shift is. And here, like, I tried the third shift for 3 weeks. I couldn't do it. I finally went to the boss. It was a great job. I was all set for the rest of my life if I could have stuck around, because it was a state job. And I went in one day and I talked to the manager, and I was like, look, words can't express how much I love this job. I can't drive home from work and watch my friends go into the job site. It's not in my brain. And he goes, do you know how many people have told me that? They're just not night people.
Yeah.
So I tip my cap to you that you can do third shift.
It's I've been doing it for years, man, and I'm the exact opposite of you. I love third shift. There was actually literally yesterday when I got to work, someone said, I know it's a long time away. It's in October, but we need one volunteer to work first shift for a week. And no one in the entire room raised their hands. We were all like, ooh, it's got to be the low man on the totem pole, right? That's who's got to go work first shift. Like, we just do not, it's not that it's bad. We just love to be awake at night. Like 3 or 4 in the morning. And that's when I starting to get motivated. You know what I mean? And I love third shift, and that's where my schedule comes too. I sleep from 6 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon, wake up, do about 2 hours of YouTube. And then if it's a stream day, I'll stream from 3 to 5. And then afterwards I'll take a break, get a little bit of food. And then we go to jujitsu, come home, work more on YouTube, and then head back to work. And then if it's a day off, I just work on YouTube all day.
Nice. I used to be a working musician. So like I wouldn't get to a gig until like 7:30 for a sound check. And then I wouldn't get home until 6 in the morning. You know, we'd go out and party afterwards or whatever. And I loved it. It was just one of the most happiest times of my life. But I turned into a morning person at some point, and now just the idea of staying up past midnight just makes my bones hurt.
Oh man, it's a battle. And I've been told by people that have been working third shift even longer, they're like, I was the same as you, but you know, there will be a time where your body does start to reject those hours. I'll be 30 years old on July 5th, and most people say
30.
Yeah, I mean, maybe 35-ish into the 40s. Maybe that's when it starts telling me, no go. I've been running on that amount of sleep since way back in the military days. So I run and function on caffeine. So
That sounds like me, right, Kitty?
Yeah.
I get up every day at like 6:37 a.m. and I go to bed at like midnight, 1 o'clock every day. So
It's
I get
insane.
it. Yeah, it's not good for me, but either way, Kitty,
Yeah.
what have you been up to?
Well, I've been streaming a lot, of course. And I think I've turned 50 since the last time I've been on the show.
Woo woo! Happy birthday!
I turned the big 50, and I have a big news flash for everybody.
What's that?
No gray pubes yet. Now, I've been thinking about this, and I've been asking around and seeing what the DL is on the old gray pube situation. And I've been checking every day since I turned 50, this is an interesting thing too that happened at 50. I got an AARP letter.
Oh yeah.
And I got a packet in the mail asking for a stool sample to check for colon cancer. And I'm like, yeah, well, I made it to 50. I've done it. But every day I check around for some gray pubes and there is nothing. And I wanted to ask you guys, I mean, I'm older than both of you, but do you guys know when the gray pubes start setting in?
I heard never.
51.
Really?
You're really
51. Yeah.
That's so awesome. Well, what's your new tune in SWTOR?
Oh, I finally finished my Big Boy series. And so I made a character, a smuggler, and her name is Little Kitty. And
Lil?
No, Little, not Lil.
Little Kitty.
Little Kitty. I don't know why I think it's because Lil is he's one of our buddies, Marcus and I. He's on Twitch, and I don't think I can ever do a Lil anything anymore without thinking of Lil.
Yeah.
So she's Little Kitty, and I forgot how much fun Smuggler is. It's really, really fun. And I've been, I play really, really low key, slow, do all the quests and all that. And it's been a blast. I've been having a lot of fun.
Well, I think with you streaming every day, you almost need to set that pace. right?
Yeah.
You need to be a little slower, enjoy it, a little more methodical about the quest and questing, and do all the quests, because if you just did the class quest, you'd blast out a tune once a week.
Yeah.
Boom, boom,
You're
boom,
right.
boom, 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 and it would be over, and you'd be like, and every week, if somebody could only, I'm going to go back to the every Tuesday watcher. Of that, I watch your stream every Tuesday. Every Tuesday, it's a new character.
Yeah.
There's no connection to that character. You know what I mean? So when you're doing it for 7 days, and something else about your stream that I like is you do other missions too, like those space missions that you do.
Yeah.
Are awesome. I am amazed by those because I've never done them, and I still haven't. And I get blown away by the quality of them.
They're gorgeous.
Yes. And I just never do it. And what I like is it's on rails, so it's not like you're flying upside down and like in a real fighter jet.
Right.
Because I'd be off the side of my desk puking into the raid bucket.
Work. Yeah, back in the day when I used to, before I was streaming, I would load into game and fire up the on rail space missions, just kind of like my morning coffee, getting warmed up to play. And they just kind of have this really calming effect on me. And having been playing them for so many years, it's on rails, so everything's predictable. And I think that's one of every time I go through them, someone in chat's like, what is this? And I'm like, it's the on-rail space mission. Here's how you do it. And show him, and I'll make gear for people. I'll be like, you know what? I'm going to make you a full set of gear, because that way you don't have to worry about it. You can just jump in and start playing, because it's so fun. It's just point and shoot. That's it. You don't have to think. You just shoot, blah, blah, blah. It is hard to read chat and play it, though. It's nearly impossible. but yeah, it's really fun. I like it. What else? I think I've just been working a lot this week. I've been really pooped out, and the heat's been kind of getting a little crazy, but my body loves the heat. I sleep like a baby. Like I wake up, like just with all the energy, without drinking any tea or anything like that. My body loves it. But we are coming up to some like multiple 100-degree days, like 110, 107 and stuff like that.
Time to turn on the air conditioner.
That's right. And by the way, that's a defeat for me. I kind of have a pride about not using AC, because I think it's like growing up poor pride. Like, this is a sauna for me. I'm going to like use this to purge all the bullshit out of the toxins out of my body. Like seriously polishing some turds.
You would love it at my setup, man. My stream knows, like, I have a love-hate relationship with this. Like, I'm sweating on stream. I wear dark clothing on stream because my setup just gets so hot, and my house is poorly ventilated, and I'd have to turn the fan off, and I have a window AC unit in my room, and I turn all that off. So when I'm streaming, or like right now on the podcast, you can't hear it. Because if not, you just hear that annoying buzzing sound in the background. No matter, I have the Shure SM, whatever it is, the high quality mic, just like Director Chronic has, and no matter what, you can hear that air conditioner. I've tried every setting, so I always have to turn it off. And
you have to get a limiter.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah. So after the show, I can teach you, or Kitty and I can tell you. After the show, we'll tell you what to get. You buy it, you'll never be hot again.
Because, man, I'm struggling.
Problem will be fixed. Kitty is a sound expert.
Yeah, I have 3 fans on right now. I don't know if you guys can hear them or not.
No,
but I have it set up to gate, so if there's like, my microphone will only pick up a certain decibel. Anything below that, and it's just doesn't exist to the mic. But those I know exactly which one you're talking about. Those are great microphones, but they'll pick up a mouse fart like in the neighbor's house. They pick up really well. But that's about it for me, Marcus. How's it going with you?
Holy cowabunga. So should we talk stream or should we talk gaming?
Ooh, I don't
Is that
know.
the same or is it different?
Yeah, I know. What's going on?
All right, so let's talk gaming. I am completely in love with Destiny 2. Like, I never thought I would like a game as much as I like Destiny, like other than SWTOR. So it's perfect that Warrior's here and me having this conversation. So growing up, Halo was the game. You know, Halo 1 came out in the original Xbox, the giant controller.
Oh,
Then
man.
when Halo 2 came out and we were jamming the multiplayer, even a local one with your friends, I fell in love. And like the fact that like you had to learn how to aim while jumping. And, you know, in the beginning, I was awesome at it. I was the guy at like the top of the leaderboards. I was the man. And then people started to really figure it out. And I was at the bottom of the leaderboard and I'm like, I can't do this jumping shit anymore. I'm going to die. And I took a break for a while and then it was Halo 3. When Halo 3 came out, it changed the game because the graphical upgrade was huge and the multiplayer was so awesome. And for me, like, I was just like, this is fantastic. And then, you know, my favorite Halo game of all time is Halo ODST. That for me, that was the game because you weren't a Spartan and you weren't invisible. You were just like a regular soldier. And I don't know, I love that game. But anyway, Destiny is made by Bungie, who created Halo. So Destiny to me is SWTOR MMO and Halo thrown in together to make Destiny. Yes, there's some subtle differences, but I love it. So as soon as I stop playing SWTOR, I go right into it. Like immediately.
Do you have like butterflies? You're so excited.
So I will say this. So that game is based off of RNG, and the RNGesus is not my friend. So there's a shotgun called the Bone Chiller. And this Bone Chiller shotgun, I need it to be able to do a raid because one boss only takes damage from a slug shotgun. Yeah, I know. So the key to this shotgun, and everything has like perks, and you can't like, you know how in SWTOR you can change like the armor, like your mods enhancements and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the guns in Destiny have those perks like the mods enhancements and stuff like that, but you can't change them.
Oh, they're
so
static.
RNG, yes. So RNG tells you what they have. It took me 6 hours and 10 bone chillers to finally get the god roll that I need to be able. It's called an auto loader. So you switch your gun and the gun auto loads in the background. So then you pull it back 3 seconds later and now you're fully loaded with ammo. It took me 6 hours. My friend Ven and I, we were playing it, and every time he's like, "You're gonna get one." I got one, and I clicked on it, and I always had my my screen shared, and he just was laughing. He's like, "This game hates you." But the whole time, I finally got to a point at like hour 5 hours and 55 minutes, and I finally said, "Look it. If I finish this a quest that we're doing and I don't get one, I'm shutting the game off. No questions asked. I'm out of Discord." He goes, "That's fair. You just spent 3 hours on tonight trying to get that gun and 3 hours last night trying to get that gun." But I finally got it.
Well, that's good.
But yes, it feels really good. The game is beautiful. And that's the thing about SWTOR versus this game, Destiny 2. Destiny 2 is made current gen, right? Ish. So the game is beautiful, like gorgeous.
Oh, I love the way Destiny 2 looks.
Right. It's beautiful. And like some of the mechanics, like we did this one mission where you were on the ship and it was like I was playing Dead Space, right? It was creepy as shit and it was hard. Then we did another mission where you were doing a boss fight and there's a circle in the middle of the room. Figure like you're in a cube, right? Think about visualize a cube, right? So in each wall of the cube, there's a circle. So after you do the mechanic and the objective, you have to stand in the cube and the room spins. And all of a sudden you drop from the floor, you land on a circle, and it could be any one of the cube walls you land on. Same mechanics apply. But one of them, there's only like bridges on it. So now you fall into this thing and now you can only fight stuff on bridges. Guess what? There's no real respawning unless your friends can respawn you. I fell many times down the abyss.
Yeah, I'm looking at pictures right now. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's absolutely
really pretty.
But it's a first-person shooter. And I would say if I didn't have my friends, Ven and Kat, to help me get into it, I don't know if I would get into it because the game is really, it's a tough game to get into because the story is the story, but like, I feel like at the age of the game right now, it's really like a tough game to just dive into at this stage in the game. You know what I mean? Unless you have help, because the grind is real. It's yeah, but I absolutely love it, and it gives me that old school Halo feel. Like the days of my Halo character was always pink and white, right? So now my character is, well, it's mine right now because I don't have it, but my character right now is like a camo green and orange. Like I feel like I'm going hunting in Realtree, but like I remember those days, and that Destiny has that really old Halo feel for me, so I'm loving it. In SWTOR, I've been at Nightmare raiding, and Explosive Conflict. This week was our best prog of the week. We got the boss down to 0% health and 34,000 hit points left, and we died. We were that close. Yeah, that's a kick in the ass. But it was really good. I'm loving it. That's my Tuesday and Wednesday team. Shout out to those guys, the working class cysts. They're awesome. And Saturday nights have been my story stuff. And I'm actually doing the last story to get my legendary status because I've raided for so many years. I never did all the class stories.
Oh, nice.
And streaming has allowed me to do the class stories. So I finished all of the class stories on stream. And I'm finally on the last one, which is the counselor. And it's like a snooze fest. And I just, like, honestly, like, I'm not a jerk in real life, well, for the most part. But in this, I just, like, they're like, did you feel the force? And I just want to be like, no, I didn't feel the force. Shut up. I want to do it my way. Just shut up with this goody stuff. Like, you know what I mean?
It is more fun making dark side choices with the consular because they trust you so much and you just end up killing all the masters. And they're like, well, you know, maybe you'll save the next one. Maybe you'll save the next one.
Right.
But you're right. It is kind of snoozy.
But I know some people that it's their favorite story.
Yeah. Different strokes.
Right. What I like about SWTOR is the class stories. You get to actually, like, the base story. Forget about all the new stuff or like all the expansions. Like the base stories of the game are incredible. It's like you're playing Mass Effect in Star Wars. You know what I mean? Like the choices that you get to make actually affect you through your class story. They kind of lose it later, but the actual class stories are amazing. I mean, really, truly. Let's face it. Who doesn't like want to shoot lightning at some point from their hands? And from day one, when you start the Inquisitor story, some asshole is calling you a slave. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you've never done that story, and how many times will you allow somebody to call you slave before you beat the shit out of them? Right. Or start screaming at your computer screen? Because like, you're like, dude, I'm not a slave. Stop calling me slave. I don't know. It's awesome.
It is fun.
But since I don't know if I did last week or not, but either way, thank you so much, Nerds community. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We hit 700 followers, which is huge. Super excited for it. Like it came out of nowhere. Like it feels like yesterday we hit 500. And I feel like you were saying earlier, Warrior, about like how the YouTube channel is like growing everything. I feel like the Discord has helped my channel so much. And even Nick was just on Sith Lord Brit's new talk show Tuesdays that she's doing. And like they talked Mandalorian season 1, but like that magic is happening everywhere. And our Discord is so active. Like people that don't know about Discord are doing themselves a disservice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with that, man. Discord is you have all these other servers and like a family home like Goto, and then you have like your home, like mine is the Revenites, and then you have yours, and that's where your community can have direct access to you, and you can just talk about anything, Mandalorian, Book of Boba, SWTOR, Destiny 2. I mean, you can just have conversations about all of it. Food. Like we have a food channel and that one's popped.
Yes.
And everyone's like, look what I had for lunch today, just to see what everybody's eating. It's great. I love Discord, man.
Discord is great. I love that you said that you have a food channel, because we have a food channel too. Food channel gets a lot of hits. Space Barbies and pets, fur babies. Everybody wants to post pictures of their cats.
Oh,
yes. Well, and Cattails, new streamer, great friend. I mentioned her. She plays Destiny with us in SWTOR and all that. She created way back when I had the Death Star Troopers raid team. She asked me to make a food channel, and I was like, a food channel, really? And now it's like transferred out into all of the Discords, and it is awesome because when you're playing with somebody online, you're just hearing the voice, just like us right now. And you're like, oh, I'm having a steak dinner with mashed potatoes and corn on the cob. You're like, oh, this person's real.
Take a picture of that shit.
Yeah. And, and I'm going to tell you guys, I'm pretty bougie when it comes to this. The plate matters. And like I like checking out people's plates because I feel like it tells a lot about somebody. Like I like a nice detailed white plate personally, like a lot of detail on the edges. That's just me. And, you see some that are basic, or like some are like a Polish pottery, or some are, it's always funny to me when I see somebody with like a steak in a paper plate. Like, what are you doing? All the juice is just leaking through the paper plate.
Oh,
Come on.
You're losing the juice. You better eat that plate.
That's what I mean. So, Discord. If you haven't joined our Discord or anybody's Discord, please do download it. Even if you don't like play video games, there's so many Discords that are just active community Discords. Join one because you will not be upset that you do it. The hardest part for Discord, though, is keeping up with all of the Discords. You can't.
You can't.
You cannot keep up with them.
No.
I know some friends who try to. I don't know how you do it. That's like a full-time job in itself.
Yeah, I don't see how you could, especially if you have a community that's really, posting a lot. I have no idea how you could do that.
I'm not even talking about your own channel. Your own channel you can watch, but how about the 40 other Discords you're in?
No, I'm just even talking about mine. I can't keep up with mine. There's shit going on all the time. And I'm the kind of person that I put my phone down, and once I turn my computer off, I am out of it for the next 10 hours. So I come back and I can't keep up with all this stuff. But you know what? I don't need to. Have fun with it. That's what it's there for.
Yeah, luckily my Discord knows I work third shift and I have it muted, but I always wake up to chaos. I'm like, what have you guys been doing in here? Like I look at general chat, I'm like, where's my mod team? What is going on in here? But it's all good fun, and they know it. Like there's like a revolving game that they play. Like, what is Warrior gonna wake up to? And I'm just like, oh, here we go. So I love Discord, man. It's a place to keep building friendships beyond your own content. So
right,
always a proponent of Discord.
Well, and it sounds to me like you said your Discord is called the Revenites. Sounds like it's going to be called the Loreseekers.
Yeah, I got a lot to sit back.
Boom! I'm coming out with the guns. Let's connect the dots. Anyway, last thing, I want to shout out to Serp. Thanks, dude. You know why I'm saying thanks. You're awesome. I appreciate the shit out of you. You're awesome. And last thing, Kai for partner.
Kai for partner.
In SWTOR news, nothing. Crickets.
Wah, 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 wah.
Sounds like Battlefront 2.
Guys, BioWare, you're hearing me. I know you listen to this. It's June 24th. More than half of the year is over. We're in 10th anniversary. Can we please get some news? I would really like to start talking about the 10th year anniversary stuff. Please.
Pretty please.
Thank you. Moving on. In AIE news, Tuesdays are our mandatory fun night, our guild night in the guild, where the fun where the fun is mandatory, but attendance is not. It's from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern time on the Starforge server, best server, and we switch from the Imperial side, which is the best side, and we do the Sunshine and Rainbow side as well on every other week, where we don't kill bosses or we don't kill things. We just befriend them. Welcome to the pub side. And Friday nights are the place to be in AIE. The first Friday of every month is Master Mode Flashpoints, hosted by Malung. The second Friday of every month is hard mode training. So we have in SWTOR, we have operations, which is raiding. You have a story mode, which is basically like your entry level. Then you have the middle of the road, which is hard mode. It's basically like, okay, I'm getting into a raiding. I'm getting on a team. I'm learning what mechanics do. I'm learning how hard things hit and you actually have to do stuff. Then you move on to the most hard content, which is nightmare or master mode. Depends what you want to call it. So we do a hard mode training night that's hosted by yours truly. And that's the second Friday of every month. The third Friday of every month, hosted by Keohu and B. Kavanaugh, they do achievement hunting. So if you want the Nerf Herder achievement or the Nerf Herder title, they've already done that, but they will do that. They focus on getting those achievements that are better done with groups of people, because there's so many achievements in the game that you can't achieve without it. And then the fourth Friday of every month, and I cannot do it, Nick does, it's Mega. Yeah, I should have just had you do that. It's the monthly Epic Guild activity. So this week, which that would be tomorrow, is Mega. We will be doing just some fun, laid back stuff, maybe kill some world bosses, hunt for some datacrons, do some fun stuff like that. Nothing over the top. I've been so busy with work, and then, you don't realize how much time streaming and podcasting consumes of your nightlife until you're doing it. I swear, it's like a second full-time job, and I love every minute of it. It really is. So if all this sounds fun to you, go to aie-guild.org. Get the Discord in the top right-hand corner of the channel. I'll give you a second to click on that. Okay, now that you did, you can jump in our Discord. If you play any of the games that we play, if you play SWTOR, click in the SWTOR thing, at Officer, and ask for a guild invite. We would love to have you. But there are so many other games that we play that people are playing all the time. So please come join us. It's an awesome place to be. So with that said, today we've got Warrior, Loreseeker, lover of Halo and Star Wars on the show. This has been a long time coming. I'm so excited for it because I found Warrior through SERP, and we were talking because when he created Guardians of the Order, I was blown away. I was like, whoa, there's 6 awesome people who have come together to create a Twitch team. And before this, I didn't even know what a Twitch team was. And then right after that, it kind of all clicked together. And Warrior was on this Twitch team called Guardians of the Order. And obviously Chimeri, great friend of mine, he was asked to be on the Guardians of the Order. And I was like, what the hell is Guardians of the Order? So then I started looking into it. And I was blown away by how tight-knit your community was. And this is how I found Warrior. So I started watching a stream. And Warrior, you are I would say, you are, I don't want to say a polar opposite of me, where I'm very loud and animated, and you're so like mellow and precise compared to me. It's actually calming to watch your channel, and like I enjoy the hell out of it. Me, I go fucking bananas. You know what I mean? And you're just like even keel. Like, I don't know what you've done in your life to make you so even. I wish I had that.
Yeah, my streams are notorious for being like relaxed as can be. Like we just like to chill and hang out. But then it's just like an ongoing thing because I take pride in my skill level in a video game. So like if we're playing Halo, like the gameplay and then the chill, like I can just rip off an overkill and then still be as chill as can be. I'll get a little bit, I'll get some hype in there, and we always do. And we'll have the music, but we like a lo-fi type music. We just come in there and chill and hang out, and then have a good time, man. And those are the vibes we created, and I think the mod team, the VIP team, and then our normal viewers, I think they've all accepted that, and we just come over there the afternoon chill sessions because like we normally stream around 3, and then we're just hanging out, man, just having fun.
Okay, the most important question. And Kitty, feel free to ask any of the questions in the list.
Okay.
Okay. But the most important question, who is your favorite Star Wars character and why?
My favorite character, and if you just the Discord name, if you see Loreseeker, the characters everywhere, it's going to be Revan. I love Revan, man. I love his character from Knights of the Republic. Playing through that, and then just the mysterious vibe that he has after the games for so long, and then we finally get the novel, and the novel's okay. It's not the best book, but I still I've read that book like 6-7 times, man, and just his rise and fall, and then his redemption story, and then everything after that, he's doing it for his family, right? So you have a Jedi that wants to save the Republic. He goes to war against the Mandalorians, wins the war, finds out about another threat, goes to try to face it, fails, becomes the enemy, gets a redemption story, then he succeeds, and then he finds another threat, and then he just drops everything. His wife Bastila, his new son that he's not even met, she's still pregnant with his son, and he's like, you know what? I have to go save the galaxy, and I have to save you. So here I go again, and then he fails again. So he's not the perfect hero. Like he doesn't win everything, right? He's not always going to save the day, and his quest to save Bastila ended up putting him in a jail cell for 3 years. He escapes for a couple of days and then gets put in another jail cell for 300 years. And that's where we see him in SWTOR. So I love it, man. His story's amazing, and he's always trying to do the right thing. And that's why I think he's a good character, man.
I have a question for you about Revan. A lot of people want to see like a Revan movie or a Disney Plus TV show, and I kind of feel like the story of Revan is fine the way it is.
Yeah, me too, man.
Like they'd only mess it up.
Right. I do not. Revan's my favorite character, but I do not want a movie or a TV show.
Yeah, me too.
This is how Revan needs to come to life. You can do a Darth Bane trilogy. Mm-hmm. He has 3 books. You can do a trilogy, and you can refer to Revan through word of mouth and lore. Like say you're Darth Bane and you're walking through the Temple of the Ancients, and then you find Revan's holocron, and then he gives you all the information. Or there's hieroglyphs on the wall of Revan, and in the story of Revan, and then you can just do word of mouth. Like, hey, have you guys ever heard the story of Revan in the Mandalorian Wars? He fought Mandalore the Ultimate in single combat and won. He has, and all these. That's how you can do it. You can do a full old trilogy or Old Republic segment in Disney Plus, and just refer to him and make him this character that he's supposed to be, a bigger than life character that people always know about, and they just hear about it, like the story or like the legend of Skywalker. Now it's the legend of Revan. And then maybe way down the line, if you have all that cohesive type lore there, then maybe you could do a movie. But even then, I think they should just go with Darth Bane.
Yeah, Darth Bane would be perfect. But I agree that story of Revan is awesome the way it is, and to kind of get glimpses of it from another story would be a great way to do it. That would be awesome.
Well, I do agree, but I feel like we are getting a Revan story. They are making Knights of the Old Republic remake. I feel I have 2 sides to this coin. first side is I'm excited that they are doing it. Yes, it's just a rumor, right? Just a rumor. But for me, I'm excited for it because it's going to make Revan canon. And then potentially, this is selfishly, people are going to want more Revan. They're going to play SWTOR.
Yeah. And that's what happened with Battlefront 2.
Right.
People, Mandalorian comes out, it's hype, and then they're like, man, I just need to play a game. So they all go back to Battlefront 2, and that happens. But with SWTOR, which is getting consistent updates, if you have an Old Republic style content come from Disney, yeah, your game is going to blow up from there. Mm-hmm. And yeah, Revan is definitely the character that you want to spearhead that movement for sure. He's the biggest character outside of any Skywalker saga character. I mean, he's huge. Everybody knows who he is. And if you don't know who he is as a Star Wars fan, you definitely heard the name at least once.
Well, especially in the Old Republic, he's like the big name.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this. So with Star Wars basically saying any content that comes out is canon, if they remake KOTOR, clearly they're not going to be able to make it so there's two endings, right?
Right.
If they do have like that type of game, there would need to be a clear cut canon route, and it's the same. So back before Disney bought everything, the Star Killer had two different endings, but everyone was told that the light side Star Killer was the canon version, right? So if you do the dark side and you end up killing everybody, then that's because it kills the Emperor, right? And it's the same in Revenge of the Sith. So if you play that video game as Anakin, you can kill Kenobi and you can also kill Palpatine when he arrives on Mustafar. So it's clear cut night and day that is non-canon. But with the way the world works now, you can't have misinformation out there. So I think they would need to have a set story that no matter what you choose, it still has the same theme at the very end.
And which makes me a little worried for the game because BioWare is not making it clearly. Well, this is all rumor mill stuff, but I feel like I don't know, I'd want to play it, but I don't know if I'm going to want to play it because KOTOR is my game.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, KOTOR came out so long ago. I tried to play it, and I'm a bougie graphical whore. I like details. I like my games to be pretty. And circling back to KOTOR, it's painful for me to play.
Yeah.
I don't care how good the content is because it's the best or one of the best games ever made. But going backwards to that, just trying to find the switch on the floor, it's where did that little tiny Lego piece go on the floor? And I'm squinting to try to find it. You know what I mean? But I do understand where if Disney is a business, which it is, they want to make money on it because they know that if they remake that game and they give it a 2020 graphical update, it's going to sell like crazy.
Oh, it's going to sell like crazy. We've become accustomed to the finer things. I don't want to go back and play the first Doom graphics ever again. Already did that.
Or Wolfenstein 3D.
Right.
Oh shit. So anyway, Warrior, so when did you first play Halo?
I've been playing Halo for 17 years.
Holy macro.
Yeah. So, and I was invited over to my buddy's house and he's like, hey, I have the new Xbox. I have Halo 2 and you want to play? And I'm like, I don't think so. But I guess if that's all you got, we can play it. Because I was a PlayStation guy. So we hopped on and he clapped me, man. Beat me 10-2. And I was mad because I'm a competitive person at heart, whether it be basketball, chess, ping pong. I want to win. So I went home, talked to my grandma and mom. I was like, hey, how can we get an Xbox? I know because, we're not a family that you can just buy whatever they wanted back then. And, you got to mow some yards. We can sell the PlayStation 2 at the local thrift shop and use that money to buy an Xbox. So by the time I went back to my buddy's house 3 weeks later, I had a new weapon, and that was time on the game. And then I beat him. And I loved it ever since, man. The competitive aspect of Halo is what really kept me in there. And then from there, I started playing the story, and then the lore just kept taking it from there, man. And I just love Halo, and from day one, just the competitiveness, competing. I've competed in many Halo tournaments, and it just keeps bringing me back. I'm sitting here playing Halo 3 on stream, and that game's been out for so long, and I just never thought that I'd be playing a game this long, man.
This morning I watched someone play Halo, and it reminded on Steam, and it reminded me of how awesome that experience was playing in the more difficult modes, and the AI like ducking behind stuff, and like being AI, if that's a word at all, and loving it. But yeah, that game was so fun.
Yeah, there's so much to do in Halo. You can play multiplayer. You can do it's called Forge, and you can make your own game types. So there's this fun thing that we call Indiana Jones, which came out way back in the day, and it's essentially Halo Fall Guys. So you can do obstacle courses, yeah. Because the Forge, you can build a map, and then what you do is you play King of the Hill, and you put the hill at the very end of the map, and you put 1 second timer on it. So the first Spartan in there, is the winner. So you make all these obstacles, and then you could do like the big boulder that comes, just like in Indiana Jones. That's where it's got its name from. And then you run through these obstacle courses, and then the first person to the very end out of the 16 is the King of the Hill, Indiana Jones. And we were doing that when we were bored, because you play it so much, you get tired of just shooting the gun. So then you just hop on custom games and play some fun stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff. And then you got campaign, and just like never ending content. And that's hopefully what Infinite's going to give us.
My favorite part of Halo is the co-op. So, going through the story with your friend or friends is awesome. And then trying to beat the game on the hardest difficulty. What's the hardest difficulty called?
Legendary.
Yes, Legendary. When you beat the game on Legendary, you feel accomplished.
Yeah.
Like that shit is hard.
Oh, it's tough, man. I didn't beat it on Legendary until I felt like I was already an established competitive player, and those elites would just maul you down, and you would get sniped before you would get sniped, not even knowing where the sniper came from. So you would have to sacrifice like 5 to 10 lives just so you could look at each corner of the map. Okay, I didn't die from there. Next life. Okay, didn't die from there. Next life. Okay, I think I seen the beam at my 2 o'clock. You get out there. Nope, it was at my 1 o'clock. And then there you finally got it. And then you have another 20 lives just to try to snipe him before he snipes you. So, Legendary is a grind, man. And I cannot wait to play Infinite Legendary on stream with, the community that we have created. Because back then, you're doing it by yourself or your buddy on split screen, and no one's watching you. Now, you have a community built, and they're going to watch these failures and then triumphs all at the same time. And I'm excited.
Right. Yeah. I remember we'd have LAN parties with the first Halo, and we'd have like 2 or 3 different Xboxes with 2 guys in one room and 2 guys in the other room going head to head in the canyon, and just being there for hours and hours. And it was so fun. And I remember we were sitting around one day, and I only had one controller, and Halo 2 came out, and my buddy and I are, just kind of sitting around playing the game. And he's like, hey, how about if you buy another controller, I'll buy Halo 2, and we can come back here and play it. And it was one of the most fun days of my life. It was so awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. And I think most people get their start. If you got your start on Xbox, it normally stems from Halo. And then if you from PlayStation, you're probably like a Grand Theft Auto or those type of games. And Halo just brings so many people together, man. And we haven't had a new game in 6 years, almost 7. And I think everyone's just amped up for this Infinite. I think it's going to be one of the biggest releases, and just cannot wait to get my hands on it.
Nice.
On last week's show, I kind of went crazy on PlayStation players, and it's because like for so many years, PlayStation has had, I'm doing my quotation marks about all the exclusives, and PlayStation players are like, oh, I'm not buying an Xbox, never buy an Xbox. PlayStation's got all the stuff. But now with Halo coming out, and they own Bethesda, and all the big Bethesda games are going to be Xbox exclusives, I think that it's going to change the tide a little bit because, yeah, you have your Spider-Mans and your Horizon Zero Dawn games and all that stuff and your God of Wars, but people soak hundreds of hours into Elder Scrolls games.
Yeah. 100.
And when they announce that that's going to be a Xbox exclusive, people are going to think twice about getting a PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
Whether they want it or not, because it's not going to be available. And it makes me happy. And like you were saying about Halo, a good Halo game hasn't come out since what, Halo 4? Because what was the last Halo game? What was that game?
Last Halo game was Halo 5, but for me, the last good game was Reach. But even then, the beginning of Reach was pretty brutal for me. They brought in Bloom for the first time in the game, and then they updated it halfway through to take Bloom away. So you have your normal Halo. There's no Bloom on the Reticule. Ooh. And that's when the game got really good. But the beginning Reach was, for me, it was personally terrible. So you're looking at my last favorite good game all the way through from launch to ending was Halo 3. And now we're on Halo Infinite, is essentially Halo 6. So we're 3 games later, and we're finally getting a new game. And all roads are looking like it's back, and it looks pretty good.
Is it? See, for me, I think they're going to do a good job because they have to do a good job. I think this game got pushed because it wasn't ready. And now they have a date, and I feel like this last year that they've pushed it on has given the time to make the game really good, because I think the story was all done and all that. I'm just excited that, you're going to get a new experience and like Cortana 2, and it's going to be so good.
Yeah, there's so many things that and they haven't even really, there's a few books that are working on the gap, but we're essentially going in Infinite blind. So we don't even know what we're going to get on this story. We only know that we're going to be on Halo Zeta, which is installation 07. And then we are also, of course, going to be Master Chief. And that Cortana is either deleted, not deleted. She's somewhere out there. She's rogue. And we have this new Cortana model, and they're giving her the designation call sign of the weapon. And she has a very unique personality. And it's going to be exciting. So the story is going to be amazing. And then the multiplayer is looking top notch.
Now I'm excited.
Yeah. And you have an Xbox.
Yeah. Well, I have the Xbox One. Will it play on Xbox One?
They are going to go with Xbox One, but yeah, it's going to be, I don't know if you played the new Call of Duty where you could play it on like the PS4, but you're going to be behind, like anyone on the PC or the newer systems is just essentially going to be able to see things before you even know it happened, even before it happens. Right. So you're going to be, no matter how good you are, you're going to be behind every player that has the newer system, unfortunately.
I can just get it for PC then.
But you could still play the campaign and still have fun. There's going to be there's not going to be any of that in the campaign.
Well, the only reason why they're coming out with all these games for the old systems because you can't get the new systems.
Yeah.
The new Xboxes and PlayStations are like impossible to get.
Right.
Unless you know somebody. So it does them a disservice to only release a game for the new system because they're not going to sell any copies because you still can't get the systems, which I don't understand how that's possible. But
isn't it because of COVID?
I don't know.
The whole chip, all the chips, no one's around to make all the new chips.
Yeah, I would say that's part of the issue. And then maybe by next spring we could start having like an abundance of these new consoles. Hopefully.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I hope that there's especially with CPUs and GPUs, that there's an overwhelming amount of them and they're nice and cheap. That would be great.
Yeah. Well, either way, who is besides Master Chief, who's your favorite Halo character?
That's a good question. I do like the Arbiter. but I also like Jerome, who is the main Spartan in Halo Wars 2. He's the
Wow.
leader of Red Team, and he's a tank. And I would love to see Jerome 092 meet up with John 117, and I think that'd be amazing. And then the character that we all think we're going to get the main villain as far as the Banish goes for Halo Infinite is going to be Atriox. He's the main brute leader. And that was the main, it's Jerome versus Atriox in Halo Wars 2. So Jerome's pretty cool. I like that. Of course, we all like Cortana, but I think by the end of Halo Infinite, I might like this new AI even better because I already like her little personality that she has. But yeah, you always got to go with the Spartan. I do like Noble 6, but rest in peace.
Why did the Covenant not give the human race an opportunity to secede and join them? Why did they choose just to annihilate them?
Oh, that's a good question that I've been trying to research. So they basically have like this scare of the manual of responsibility, and that's essentially like everyone's given the mantle is the leaders of the galaxy, right? They have a responsibility to protect, right? And they see, from my basic understanding, is they see humans as like a forerunner type thing. And so what happens is the humans, it's called contact harvest. Harvest is like the first contact. And there was like some type of like problems with forerunners and like the technology and the sites, and it was designated sacred and so on. And the lack of communication, right? You have English or whatever they, for us, it's English. And then you have the Covenant, they speak their language. It was hard to just translate, hey, we're here. And it just started a little mini battle or at Harvest. And then when you bring in the militaries of both sides, then it's, there's who has the bigger, what, right? So then they start fighting, and then you have the first contact, and then the war starts. So, it starts getting a little hectic from there. And then, we bring in the Master Chief, who luckily just starting to get out of training.
Sure. That's a great answer. So I've always wondered that, because if you look at or watch all the old TV shows or games, it's always like, hey, we're here. Look, you have two choices. You can surrender, which they're not going to do it, or we're going to obliterate you. The Covenant was like, no talk, just go in and kill. And they were like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh God, we got to do this,
Yeah. The story of Halo, there's so much to it. It goes back thousands and thousands of years to the precursors and the forerunners. And with all that, the humans are just a small little piece of the entire puzzle. And Cortana is playing into that puzzle with these AIs. There's also an AI called Mendicant Bias, and then there's offensive bias. Mendicant Bias is an AI that takes control of the Halo array, and then he's trying to essentially stop the flood and stop everything from happening. And then they use offensive bias to try to stop him. And Cortana is basically the same. And they're thinking that this new AI is going to be the offensive bias 2.0, right? And then Master Chief is just entangled in all this story. So when you look at it, we have a 20-year-old game, a story, but there's so much story already been made. And that's why I'm starting Halo Loreseeker, is because half the people don't even realize all these side stories and books and comic books that are already out there already. And it's exciting. And I'm still in the learning process too. I don't know as much as I should about Halo, and my Star Wars knowledge destroys my Halo lore knowledge.
It's a learn in progress.
Yeah, it's never ending too. It's constantly more to learn. Okay, what is your favorite game?
Halo. So let's take Halo out of the picture.
Okay,
so we don't
sure.
have Halo.
Okay.
I would say my favorite game is gonna be Resident Evil 4.
Whoa.
Yeah, I love the Resident Evil series, man. The Resident Evil series is something that always loved it. I played the new one, and we had such a good time playing it over on YouTube. And then, Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, 4, that whole lore right there is amazing. But other than that, I do have there's always going to be a place in my heart for Battlefront 2 and Star Wars game, but the one Star Wars game that takes the cake, of course, is Knights of the Old Republic. So you have Resident Evil 4 and Knights of the Old Republic. I have them right beside each other for sure.
Nice.
All right. Do you have a particular stream or stream moment that stands out, or even YouTube moment that stands out as above the rest, like something that took your breath away?
Yeah, for my stream in particular, my favorite moment was when I designed a fictional role playing war between my community, and we took the Revenites and we used Revan as the helm, and then we made another faction called the Ravagers, and the Darth Nihilus was at the helm of that. And I made this intro video, and that was the first time Director Chronic ever rated my stream, and Serpents rated it. So we started the stream out, and I was like, an hour into this, we're going to do the faction war. We're going to get it started. Serp rated, then DC rated, and then we played the video, and it was the most viewers I've ever had. And essentially me and DC, that was the first time we ever really connected. And he's seen this trailer, and then we did this. It was like a week spanning where I did code words in my YouTube videos, and ultimately I assigned generals and Revenite commanders. And then at the end, we did a big giveaway, man. And it was a good week. But that particular moment with all those raids and then showing the video, I'll never forget that one.
That sounds so epic.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Okay.
It's a lot of work to do it.
It was a lot of detail, and it was stressful, but it was all worthwhile stress, right? I had to make the video. I needed the art. I needed to assign roles. I needed everything to be cohesive. And I worked really close with Serpents on that. So you shouted him out earlier, but we can never stop shouting that man out. He helps so much. And I went through with him the pros and what cons that I needed to weigh and how to do it. And it all worked out, man. I loved it.
That sounds awesome. Okay, we have the last question here. It's a very important one. Mm-hmm. What is your favorite ice cream flavor?
Whoa, that's a good one. I love this question.
My favorite ice cream flavor is Butterfinger ice cream.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That is a weird one, but that's a good one.
Yeah, it's good. And it's because when I was a kid, I was always going to my grandma's house, and for some reason, she always had Butterfinger ice cream. And it not only does it have memories tied to it, I love Butterfinger. So then you add ice cream to it, and it's perfect. So, and you can rarely find it at the store. So anytime my mom sees it, she always hey, there is Butterfinger ice cream. You want me to grab it? And I'm like, heck yeah, which store is it? And I'll go buy a tub too. And then we save it like it's gold. You can only have Butterfinger ice cream once a week, because once it's gone, you might not find it again. So.
Right. That, you know what? I don't think I've ever seen Butterfinger ice cream. I know I've seen Butterfinger ice cream bars, but I've never seen the tub.
Yeah, and the tubs are little too. It's maybe
pint?
It's something that you would just it's a single serving, you would just give out to a kid and they would eat while they're watching TV, right? So they really keep, I don't know what the factory out there that makes these. They're let's just give this 1-2 week run for the year and make it the smallest container possible, and you're good to go. So I'm no,
that's awesome. I have a similar thing with ice cream. Back when I was a little kid, and this is back in the 70s, they would only have, a pumpkin pie ice cream one time a year, and they'd only have it for a month. And my parents would always go, all right, let's go get some pumpkin pie ice cream. And I'd get one scoop of pumpkin pie on a sugar cone. And it was always so special. It was always just oh, yay. So now every time I think of pumpkin pie ice cream, I think about going with my parents. And
it just brings back those memories. Yeah. And that's exactly what Butterfinger ice cream does for me.
That's awesome.
Amazing. That's cool that you have that memory too.
Well, tell everybody, Warrior, where they can find you.
So on twitch.tv/aWarriorNerd, Warrior Nerd. Put the A in front of the Warrior Nerd. And then on YouTube, Star Wars Loreseeker or Halo Loreseeker. And that's where you can find me if you want the Halo lore, if you want the Star Wars lore, if you just want to watch me game, you can do that on Twitch. And then just type that into any database as far as Twitter, Instagram, and then I should be the first one to pop up as well. But yeah, and I stream Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays right now on Twitch.
What are you guys talking about in here?
Find out next episode of Working Class Nerds.